Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Make sure you join us in the Freedom Zone today, ladies and gentlemen. Click the join button here or down in the description box and join us in Patreon, because we're going to be diving into in-depth, because we're going to cover the Genius Act that passed today and all the ramifications of fallout, but we're really going to dive into the right to privacy protections for the stablecoin bill. Are they there? We're going to get into that. Well, let's start right here and follow us in the Freedom Zone. Open your free account at Caleb and Brown. Start getting the best night's sleep of your life. If you don't believe me, go to XRPwealth589.com and open the account yourself, because you get human customer service and you can't find it anywhere else in the crypto industry. It's a fact, Jack. Don't believe me. It's still true. Listen, the reality is that I am getting the best night's sleep. Since 2017, I've been getting the best night's sleep. This is very real, okay? I don't offer anything that I don't use. This is very real. DAI and myself have come together to get this account so you can open your free account, XRPwealth589.com. Start getting the best night's sleep you've ever had in crypto. Look at this. $3.43 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off 0.1% in the last 24. Well, we've had really great news and the market's holding where it is, but we're not done yet, but we could be very soon. Bitcoin, 104,000 plus, 2,500 plus for Ethereum right now. XRP number 4 spot, 234, up 1.2 in the 24, off 7.7 on the 7-day. Looking at the range of price, ranging between 229 and 238, kind of sitting in the middle there. Also, we're down to 9 days and 15 hours left for the conference, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gracious, am I getting so excited. And I'm working on getting a very, very special guest last minute here to show up and be on stage, along with the CEO of Uphold. We're talking about the CEO of Ripple, the CTO of Ripple. You name it, we got it. The Honorable Cristian Carlo. The list goes on and on. The Digital Chambers president, Cody Carbone. I'm telling you, this is going to be an incredible 2 days. Don't mess around. It is likely, ladies and gentlemen, we will be celebrating the passage of the Genius Act when we get to XRP Las Vegas. Come help celebrate with us, xrplasvegas.com. Come get your ticket. And here's what else is going to be there.
Hi, I'm Brie Teresi. I'm a model and a crypto enthusiast. The excitement is building. XRP Las Vegas 2025 is almost here. Learn more about the evolution of finance and Web3 from top industry leaders. I have my ticket. Do you have yours?
Now's the time to get your ticket at XRPlasvegas.com and check out the conference agenda. Also, builders and developers will have a shot at $25,000 in prize money with the best Web3 project ideas in a Shark Tank-like pitch.
Let's go, XRP community. Lock in.
Absolutely. Get your ticket. VIP very close to selling out, and it may sell out this week. News really quickly here. BitMEX and Ripple, Real USD is now available to deposit, buy, and trade on BitMEX. We covered this. World's leading cryptocurrency derivatives exchange since 2014. And now Real USD available, and you can buy, trade, deposit the rest of it on there as well. Super exciting, and we got a lot to cover, so let's get started. We know that what we saw is the Genius Act yesterday be voted on very quickly is super important.
Born from a great deal of frustration. We started working on the bill in earnest back in the fall. But we've watched what's happened with the absence of any type of regulatory framework here in America. And what we see is this type of innovative technology moving offshore. The last thing I want to see is that. I don't want to see innovation leaving America. It's all happening here right now. But what we saw was a lack of regulatory framework, which means a lack of certainty. And if you're using enforcement actions from the SEC, which was what has been happening for the past 4 years, to regulate the markets, it creates massive amounts of uncertainty. This will fix it.
So, but in terms of just understanding how this bill works and what it does, what is it?
It basically establishes a legal and regulatory framework to issue stable coins here in America. Stablecoin is stable, meaning it's backed by a certain currency. In this case, it's tied to the U.S. dollar, but also it's backed either by cash or by short-term U.S. Treasury securities, so it's entirely safe. Having that type of regulatory framework and disclosure around it so we know exactly what's backing up these digital dollars, if you will, is going to be great.
Absolutely. And guess what? 1.1% of the U.S. dollar supply is tokenized as stable coins. That ought to let you know just how early we are getting started, but how important all of this is. And yesterday, while the vote was going on, and I watched it, and I know a lot of you did too, this is what Elizabeth Warren was doing down on the floor, trying to intimidate everybody as they walked up to vote, because she is trying to get it shot down. Now, we're going to get into that, but you can see how hard she was working. Caitlin Long highlighting more for the angry Warren memes. Grab some good screenshots. She's not taking this very well. She's very upset trying to talk everybody out of it. You see her there trying to talk to Gillibrand. And then here is the picture. A picture is worth 1,000 stable coins. The exact moment you realize that crypto will ultimately win. And I say that moment when you realize everyone invited you to Johnson's Pond to swim, but they no-show you because they don't like you. Yesterday was a good day, ladies and gentlemen. Lock in. The vote ended up being 66 yeas and 32 nays. The Senate heard our voice. This is remarkable. It moves forward and advances. Now, I must be honest. Yesterday, I thought for a hot second we passed and that was it. It was over. And I know that it'd have to go to the House, or the House's bill would have to pass and be mirrored to the Genius Act, and then it would go to the President's desk, signed, being law. I know how the process works. But I'm saying I forgot about the cloture vote, which cloture means they had to have the 60 votes in order to bring it back to a floor vote. But before it goes to a floor vote, they're going to have another debate period where they deal with whatever's left to make Elizabeth Warren and everybody else happy so they can do the vote, because they're upset, right? And this is ridiculous. This is a nonpartisan issue. This is about the dominance of the U.S. dollar and our way of life, to put it simply. And Elizabeth Warren's down on the floor pulling this business because she can't have her way. You know, that's what's wrong with Massachusetts. We tried to tell them John Deaton was the answer. In case you missed it, I like the way Uphold said it. The Genius Act cleared a major hurdle in the Senate last night with a 66-32 vote to invoke cloture, end debate, and move towards a final vote. The U.S. is now one step closer to clear stablecoin regulation, setting the stage for fiat-backed stablecoins to go global. And that's exactly what we're about to see, I believe, ladies and gentlemen. Take a listen to this quick clip right here.
The U.S. Senate has just advanced a key stablecoin bill after initial resistance. My name is Nova, and this is Crypto Briefing breaking news.
Yes, they did.
The Senate voted to move forward with the Genius Act, a bill aimed at regulating stablecoins. The bill passed a procedural vote with 66 in favor, setting it up for Senate debate. This comes after Democrat senators initially blocked it over concerns about Trump's crypto ties. The Genius Act seeks to regulate the $250 billion stablecoin market, requiring full backing and regular audits.
I told you it was all about political posturing, didn't I? I told you. And it's going to pass, too. It's going to pass out of this period floor vote, too. Because now that it goes back out to the floor vote, they don't need 60 votes, right? So that gets really easy, too, because you know that they have well over 60, 66. So it's pretty obvious that unless something unforeseen happens, excuse me, they will be passing this bill. Bipartisanship is alive and well. Shout out to Cody Carbone, the president here of the Digital Chamber. Look, he's going to be on stage too. This is amazing. He said, we called for stablecoin legislation to pass now, and he did, and we covered it. He said, we're on the cusp. 17 Democrats joining nearly all Republicans to move the Genius Act forward. This is what needs to be celebrated. This is what could be something that takes us towards healing as a country. But the mainstream media will never cover it, right? The mainstream media will never cover the fact that it was 17 Democrats that stepped forward and said, you know what? I'm not going down with Senator Warren. That's why she was standing by herself. John Deaton rightfully says here, he says, I can't name all the folks who deserve applause, but Cody is one of them. You damn right he is. And shout out to everybody that the Chambers worked so hard to get everybody on Capitol Hill on the right page when it comes to being a crypto advocate. This is a big first step towards passage of the Genius Act, and 16 Democrats, it ended up being 17, changing their vote to support the bill. As I mentioned before, the legislation will now move to the debate and amendment process on the Senate floor, which will begin today. And it says here there could be another vote as early as tonight or tomorrow night. Well, wait a minute. Yeah. So what is today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, tonight or tomorrow night with a vote on motion to proceed. GOP leaders had been hoping to get in a final passage vote before Memorial Day next Monday, but it's unclear if that will happen at present time, but they are pushing for that. So stay tuned. They're on track to get it. Here's some takeaways from the Honorable Christian Carlo, and I cannot wait for us to be on stage and talking about everything that's happening right now. And it's going to inform us for the next year or two. I can guarantee you that, because Chris is just, this guy is so smart. 3 takeaways from last night's Senate vote on Genius Act. Political power of emerging stablecoin and crypto industry active in 2024 remains potent in 2025. That's the takeaway. Senator Warren, who pulled out all the stops to block passage but lost 16 Democrats, has waning grip on an obsolete crypto agenda. And 3, Senator Hagerty displayed great parliamentary leadership and is a rising star in the Senate. Big win for the U.S. innovation, the U.S. dollar, and American prosperity. Shout out to Chris. I cannot wait to talk to you, Chris. And here is the list of the people that decided they were not going to stand with Elizabeth Warren anymore. Also Brooks, Hassan, Warner, who we'll get to in a second, Schiff, Padilla, Slotkin, Blunt Rochester, Cortez Masto, Fetterman, Gallego, Gillibrand, Henrik, Lujan, Ossoff, Rosen, Booker. Those are the ones that said, you know what? I'm not standing with her because we got some elections coming, right? And in fact, Senator Warner, Mark Warner, released a full statement on his support of the Genius Act and said the bill is not perfect, but it's far better than the status quo, and basically used that premise to say, that's why I'm going to vote for the bill so then I can help shape whatever else needs to be done. I'm paraphrasing here so we don't have to waste any more time, but that's where we're at here. Now, let's go to Senator Bill Hagerty himself, who had the bill and got it through. He said, tonight the Senate moved forward on the Genius Act. This groundbreaking bipartisan legislation will bring America's payment system into the 21st century. Not just stablecoin, America's payment system. The Genius Act skyrockets the United States with a digital payment framework. The Genius Act skyrockets the United States with a digital payment framework with the fastest rails possible. Really? How does he know that? I thought we were just passing stablecoins. It will ensure the U.S. dollar dominance. Customers will be protected. The demand for the U.S. Treasuries will balloon to the tune of more than $1 trillion, and innovation in a digital asset space will thrive in the United States going forward. I look forward to making history with my colleagues this week. He is excited to get this done this week. This could be an incredible week, ladies and gentlemen. Now, David Sachs says the same and shares his celebration and congratulations to a job well done. He says, amazing job by Senator Hagerty to win over 60 votes for cloture on the Genius Act. The legislation creates a legal framework for stablecoins, a big win for crypto. Now it moves back to a full floor vote, and it doesn't need 60. I think it just needs 55, 51, or whatever it is. So that is looking very likely to pass, and possibly this week. Let's look at this here. The Bermuda Triangle. Well, I tell you what, $27, $8, $13, $5, it's all been like the Bermuda Triangle. We can't find it. But you know what? They keep passing this legislation, and I think we're going to find all those price targets that have been hiding in the Bermuda Triangle, including $27. Come on in. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Again, we're going into the Freedom Zone, and we're going to drill down a little further into the Genius Act. Let's get a little nerdy and see what's about to pass here. Remember, we have seen Congress take verbiage and put it through, and then it harm us for years before it was corrected about the DeFi broker rule, right? So we're going to get into that now. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you in the Freedom Zone. Come on in. All right, welcome back. Let me get this keyed up here.